Ah, ha, 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 ha. If you're a fan of this channel that has been here for the past 3 years, then you might remember us actually making a video about this 3 years ago in the summer of 2019. I remember this very fondly. I was in Japan at the time, and I was editing the thumbnail in the hotel room at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I had uploaded it before my family and I went to go to Tokyo Disney Sea or something like that. I actually recorded a few vlogs walking around the outside of that hotel, so it's really cool just reflecting on where I was back when we had made those videos in the past. But this video was indeed one of those videos, and it went like this. Would you do it? NHL trade proposals. Brock Boeser for Cole Caufield and a draft pick. The reason we made this video was because there was a post made on the R Canucks subreddit back from 2019. Take a look at this post made by Big Boy Ben. Would you trade Brock Boeser for Cole Caufield and Montreal's 2020 first? I'm a Habs fan coming in peace to compare the opinion of our respective subs. The poll can be found here. Now, if you go over to the results of the poll, it's actually not there because Straw Poll ended up closing down in August of 2022. But if you go to the comments of the Canucks sub post, it kind of goes over what a lot of Canucks fans were thinking at the time. And I say at the time because it was the same in my comment section as well. But I guess today it might be a tad different. The Vancouver Canucks fans on the Canucks sub and in my comment section reacted with an overwhelming no. And in fact, I actually had the contrary opinion. If you watch the video I made, I said that I actually would do this move. Trade away Boeser for Caufield and a 2020 first because the Vancouver Canucks were not guaranteed to being an absolute powerhouse of a team. And sure, at the time, it's easy to say that Brock Boeser was a good player, and we all kind of thought that he had better days ahead of him and that he was going to get better as his time would go on, and it was an easy idea just to float around in 2019, 3 years ago, that a guy who was 1 year removed from a rookie campaign where he was an absolutely lethal sniper was going to be better. Caufield at the time was just drafted, and a lot of people were saying, okay, if the Canucks wanted Caufield, like they could have just drafted him themselves at 10th overall. They took Podkolzin instead. So I don't really see why you would make this move. It's essentially swapping your draft pick and trading away Boeser for a first. Nah, I don't want to do that. Plus the fact that the team actually would get worse on paper in the short term, and the Canucks are sort of building towards being a bit better. Why would they make a trade like this? And that's a fair perspective to have in 2019. I mean, I understood it, for sure. We made the video about it, but I said that I would rather take Caufield because I liked him a little bit more, and I wasn't too confident in the Vancouver Canucks' ability to be able to contend consistently over the next few years, therefore making that first-round pick also pretty valuable too. If you take a look at this trade proposal today, though, and you acknowledge what these assets became, okay, this is where things get a little bit frustrating. Brock Boeser is what he is right now. He's 25, 6'1", 207, a right-handed forward, and he's got 4 points in 6 games played. 0 goals, too. Unfortunately, as a guy that we all said was a perennial lethal sniper, has not really done too much of the sniping. Now, I know he hasn't played in a while, he's been on the IR, but when Brock is in the lineup, he definitely isn't the same player that he was 4 years ago. He's not really the best defensively, he's not really the best at playmaking, he doesn't really shoot the puck on goal too much anymore. I guess you could debate how good he is in the boards and battling for the puck in the corners, but at the same time, it's really easy to see how injuries have slowed Brock down over the years. It's unfortunate, but I'd say that Brock Boeser now is a lot more like Tanner Pearson is than Elias Pettersson. That's a weird thing to say about a player, but I feel like if you had asked me that 3 years ago in 2019, I would have said, oh, Brock is more akin to Petey than he is to Tanner Pearson. But nah, it's not like that anymore. Unfortunately, Brock has sort of taken a big step back. And I know just a few seasons ago, he was the team's point leader in 2020-2021. 49 points, 56 games played, a 70-point pace over 82. Definitely not bad, but since then, I mean, Brock hasn't been the best. And I want him to prove me wrong, for sure. It's just, when you go over to the Montreal side of things and you acknowledge what Cole Caufield and that first-round pick are doing, It becomes a lot more sad when you take a look at how confident Canucks fans were that Boeser would have been the more valuable asset to keep. Cole Caufield is 5'7", 165, a right-handed guy. He's 21 years old, and this season he's got 10 points in 10 games, 7 goals on the year as well. Cole Caufield is... man, I don't want to say it, but Caufield is everything that we thought Boeser would be. That sucks that I just had to say that. But if anybody has been watching this YouTube channel for the past 3 years, you know how much I believe in Cole Caufield. You know how this entire time I was a big fan of the guy, and I was super confident in his goal-scoring abilities. And it's just funny because now, if you look at the things that I had said about Caufield 3 years ago, and you look at how he's performing today, I hate to tell you so, but I was kind of right. Now, of course, I wasn't really all too extreme with my projections. I didn't say that Caufield would be a 50-goal guy in 2022-2023, but, like, he's scoring at a 50-goal pace right now, and he'll realistically end the season off with 30-35 goals, which is definitely not bad, and it's something that I think Brock Boeser is not going to attain in a long time. And this was supposed to be that year, you know? They all said at the beginning of the season, oh, this is going to be it, you know? Brock is going to score 30 goals this year. This is going to be the year. And unfortunately, you know, for a second, I bought into the Gatorade. I said, yeah, okay, this is going to be it. Brock is going to do it. And then he got injured to start out the season. Okay. And when you go over to the first-round pick that Montreal maybe, potentially, could have thrown into this hypothetical trade idea too, that guy ended up being 15th overall, Kaiden Cooley, and Cooley today is one of the better Canadiens defensemen on the team. Yeah, you could definitely say the pairing is questionable, but Kaiden Cooley in isolation is a 20-year-old defenseman. He's a big dude, 6'2", left-handed, and he's very good at shutting the play down and making the right plays. He's pretty much accepted the role from Canadiens fans and Canadiens lore as being the next Shea Weber. Of course, though, he is not in his prime, whereas Weber has been very good and very old when he was on the Canadiens, but still, Kaiden Cooley would be a really good player on Vancouver. Or maybe he might not be as good, maybe he's going down a different development path, whatever, but if you take the Kaiden Cooley that is on Montreal today and you plopped him in Vancouver with the Canucks, he would be a very important piece, very valuable, and somebody that can actually help this team out when it comes to their defense, because their defense kinda sucks. So, I don't want to go out there and say I told you so, but I kind of told you so. And in fact, this comment section on the Habs subreddit kind of goes over it. This is what Fez the Pez posted a week ago. I found this post from 2019. I don't know what the results were from the Habs end, but I wonder how the Canucks sub would feel now. And they ended up linking the "Would you trade Boeser for Caufield in Montreal's 2021st" post on the Canucks sub. All the comments, by the way, said no, I wouldn't do that. This comment from Thaddeus says this: "It's easy to mock what they said, but hindsight is 2020, and the context 3 years ago was a lot different. At the time, the Canucks just finished 11th and then 5th, and would eventually finish 3rd in their division, make the playoffs, and reach the second round. This post was probably early in that season, but the point is, at the time, the Canucks felt they were at the end of their rebuild and becoming a regular playoff team. Boeser was 22 years old and had just had 2 seasons in the 30-38 goal and 66 to 72 points range. It didn't make any sense for the Canucks at the time to trade an established 22-year-old top 6 forward for possible future. They needed to improve now." Now, obviously, we know how it turned out. Boeser regressed 2 seasons out of the next 3, the Canucks have missed the playoffs twice, and Caufield is, well, yeah. But to be honest, if I was a Canucks fan 3 years ago, I still would have said no to that trade. Too bad for them that it turned out too badly after 2019-20. It's still pretty funny, though. And, yeah, I mean, I partially just really liked Cole Caufield, which is why I wanted to do that trade myself, especially when evaluating how good 2020's draft was going to be. But at the same time, I could totally understand why Boeser was the guy Canucks fans at the time wanted to keep around. We even talked about that in the video, so if you want to take a blast to the past and watch some old NHL 19 gameplay from commentary that I had stationed and edited while I was in Japan, you can go ahead and watch that video. Also, the link will be in the description to the different Reddit posts that are discussed here from years ago, as well as the one from a week ago. Talk to the comments your thoughts about this Boeser for Caufield thing and how unfortunate it's turned out for Canucks fans, because a lot of us were so confident that Brock was going to be the guy and that he would be better than Caufield, but I mean, it's 2022 and I could say that I'd probably have Caufield on my team than Boeser, as unfortunate as it is to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this Juraj Rolls 9, and bye.